Welcome to the Le Twins Inspired Podcast. I am Claudia, and this is a place where we gather stories about our favorite artists, Le Twins, to talk about how they have impacted our personal life and culture at large. My guest today is Tonya. She's a news anchor and a longtime Le Twins fan who has attended a lot of Le Twins workshops and events over the years. This is part one of our conversation, and in this episode, we're gonna go through how Tonya has found out about the twins, how she ended up interviewing them after they won the World of Dance in 2017, how she was compelled to attend their workshop straight after, going first to the Atlanta one, to the big Atlanta workshop of 2017, and many, many more after that. Tonya is also talking about attending multiple recordings of the French-Canadian show Revolution, where the twins served as judges and did a few really memorable performances. Before we start, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this episode. I really need your help to make sure that this podcast grows and reaches the right people. And also, if you know of anyone who would like to share their Le Twin story of how they've changed their lives and attending their events, please let me know. And now, here is my conversation with Tonya. Hello, Tonya. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Claudia. This is just something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've listened to your other recordings and they were so awesome. And I can't believe that you have me on the podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so glad. I always love your energy. When I check your stories and I see you smile, I'm like, that's the energy I want. You know?
Just to see, that's why I go to workshops. That's why I think I'm so enamored with the twins and their fandom, because of the energy. That's a word that a lot of people use. I'm sure you know that when you talk about them, is that energy, the aura that surrounds them.
Yes, absolutely. And I would like to start with you knowing a little bit of your story so we can have the background on why, you appreciate them, why they land so strongly with you.
Yeah. Which still surprises me to this day, how much I love them and I've connected with them and their fans. I have been a broadcast journalist for many years, 30 plus years. I started in radio and then got into television news, and my last TV news job was at an NBC affiliate. And I had never heard of the twins before, but right before they were on World of Dance, the one with J-Lo and Neo and Derek Huff, I was seeing the commercials, the ads, the promotion for that show, because it was an NBC show. And I was like, who are those guys? They're cute, you know? And so then, of course, I got excited to watch the show, and I saw their audition, and they talked about working with Beyonce and Jay-Z and all the things, and I was like, who are these guys? So then I started looking, and then I saw the videos, and I went down the rabbit hole that so many people go down. Just could not stop watching them to 2, 3 in the morning. But yeah, that's how it happened. It was just because I worked at an NBC affiliate and I just kept seeing the broadcast. And then, of course, when they had that audition, who can forget that? Who can forget those white jeans that Lo had on? And who can forget the girl in the audience saying, "I'll take you," when he was talking about breaking up with his girlfriend. So it was just like, I was just in love. I was like, who are these guys? And then when you try to find out who they are, you go back to the videos when they were first getting started and, dancing on the street in France and all the things. So yeah, that's how I figured out who they were. I didn't know who they existed until they were on that show. Yeah. That's when that was 2017.
I think you're the first person who didn't get into them by watching like a random video on YouTube, because that's how most people.
Yeah, but I did go back and watch all those videos. I'm sure. I'm sure I went back and watched all of them. Yeah, the workshops and the performances, they were just, oh my gosh. Yeah. I got it bad. I got it bad.
I love that. And so you were doing broadcasting. Was it like a local station or local broadcast
Yes.
station? Yeah.
Yes. So I live in Alabama, and
Oh,
the
cool.
station that I worked for at that time covered Central and South Alabama and North Florida. And so
Mhm.
and a little part of the western part of Georgia. So yeah, so I was doing the local morning news. In fact, once they won, of course, I was hanging on, I was sitting on the edge of my seat, like, oh gosh, like when Lowe got hurt, I was like, oh my God, what is gonna happen? And I actually loved the couple that they went up against. I can't remember their names, but it was an Asian
Yeah.
couple, a married couple, and they were so
Yeah.
good. And I was like, oh my gosh, can they beat these people? Anyway, once they won,
Mm.
they did a satellite tour, and I think
Ah,
it's on my page. It's a picture where I got to interview them. As many people did, NBC affiliates got to, but
yeah.
everybody in the newsroom knew I was crazy about them. So they were like, we set this up so you could interview them.
Oh,
So I
that's so
could see them.
cool.
Yes, but I could see them. They could not see me. They could hear me, but they couldn't see me.
Ah, I
And
see.
so I remember them laughing at something when I said, "Oh, so now do we call you late millionaires now?" And they thought that was so funny. So I made my favorite dancers in the world laugh. So that just made my day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have a picture of that where I'm just kind of laughing and they're laughing, and I just and then shortly after that was in I guess around May that they won the show. May, June, it was like that summer that they won that show. In November, which is my birthday month, they had a workshop in Atlanta, which is about 2 hours away from me. I could drive there, so I bought myself a ticket to the workshop for as
Yeah.
a birthday gift to myself.
Yeah.
And girl, can I tell this story? Can I tell this? Oh my goodness.
Please,
So
please. I want to know.
I had watched all the videos, of the people standing around, and it was maybe 50 to 100 people at the most,
Wow.
like 100 people.
Hmm.
So I go to Atlanta, and there was more like 1,000 people there because they had just won this
Oh,
show.
yeah. Like peak
And
popularity.
oh my gosh, girl, I
Yeah.
got in line and I was like maybe number 200 in line, and you couldn't even see the end of the line. It just wrapped around the building. But what a workshop that was. It was
Yeah.
just insane. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. But yeah, that was my first workshop. I
Right.
don't even know how many I've been to, but yeah, it was something. It was
Yeah.
something.
Wow. Okay. So that workshop was massive. I'm not sure if I actually ever seen workshops being so big with like a
Yeah,
thousand people.
that's the biggest one. Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. But I went to a couple of them in Baltimore that were close to that, if they weren't that big.
Wow.
But yeah, that one in Atlanta was insane. But
Yeah.
again, they were fresh off that win, and so good. But I bought a meet and greet, so I got a chance to literally meet them at that one.
Yeah.
So my first workshop, I got a meet and greet, so I could actually meet them and take a picture with them. And I remember that Lo was on my left side, Larry was on my right side, now that I think back, they're usually like that. They always stand on the same side.
Five. Yes.
But
True.
most of the time, but sometimes it's mixed, it's different. But most of the time, Larry is going to be on your right and Lo on your left in the picture. But anyway, Lo gets up there and Larry's just, oh, they're just both drop dead gorgeous. They're just so tall, dark, and handsome and French. Are
Yeah.
you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Typical.
And
Like, yeah.
they smell so good, and they had all the jewelry on, and oh, it was just too much. It was too much. And Lo does the famous hair flip where he flips his
Of
hair
course.
back, and I swear to God, I thought I was going to pass out. I actually thought I felt faint. Have you ever fainted before? Do you know how that feels? It's like
Yes,
all the
I
breath
have.
just leaves your body.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, that would not be cool to faint in front of all these people. I was like, girl, get it together. Get it
He
together.
he took your breath
Oh,
away, literally.
he literally did when he goes, and I go, are you kidding? kidding me? Oh, it was so good. But it was the best. I mean, there were a lot of dancers from Atlanta
A
that
lot of
came to
dancers.
visit and dance with them. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, girl, it was great. The energy in there was insane. And the cipher, just them in there and watching other people dance from all over the country that had come to see them. I just felt like a kid again. I felt like a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
it was just so fresh and new. It was like the first time I saw Prince, who is my absolute favorite artist in the world. Like
Yeah.
it made me think back to, sitting there in the theater watching Purple Rain or something like that for the first
Wow.
time. It was just, yeah,
Amazing.
butterflies,
That level
butterflies
of
in my
emotion.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yes. And the whole time, it wasn't like it hit you and then it went away. It
Yeah.
lasted for hours, and then on my drive home, I'm just thinking back like, oh my gosh, and looking through all my videos. And most of the workshops that I've been to, I could get video of both of them
Yeah.
during the workshop. But now during the actual workshop part, I only have Laurent, because it was so many people, you had to pick a side and you kind of had to
Sure.
stay
Yeah.
there, or you would lose your spot. So,
Yeah.
and that was my first one. I didn't really know how to navigate, how I could get back over there.
Sure.
So I was just kind of glad to have a vantage point where I could actually
See
see them.
them.
These are the best dancers in the world. I actually just sit there, and I really don't get a lot of video anymore. I used to just like want to get all the
As much as
video. I'd have my
possible.
camera up the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. Yeah. But I noticed something though, that when I didn't do that, they felt more comfortable dancing in front of you. Like I've had
Ah.
these wonderful moments where they just came right, like they were right there, and you could just feel like feel all the energy from them, right, like
Mm,
literally right in front of you. Because if you're trying to video it, it just kind of breaks that connection.
I
Does that make
agree.
sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
completely.
So
Yeah.
I get a little video just to, remember the workshop or whatever, a couple of pictures, and then I put it away and
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
soak it all in, and just because everybody gets video, so you're gonna see it. You know what I mean? But it's what you have up here. Same thing with concerts. I used to try to hold my phone up the whole, and I never. It's so much better if you just kind of let yourself feel it
Yeah.
and dance and have a good
Yeah.
time. So like, put your phones down. Let's feel this. Let's experience this
Yeah.
together.
I love that.
And
So
I
good.
do too. I do too. And I've had some amazing moments with them. Amazing
Yeah,
moments. That's
please
what
talk
keeps you
about
going
those.
back.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But
If you have
I
some,
like to see it with other people too. That's what I was getting at. I like to see them when they interact with other dancers, or because I
yes,
don't dance, but I love to see when they dance with
yes.
other dancers, and
I
they're
love that
very
too.
competitive. They're very competitive. So I love when somebody's pretty good and they go, but we want to make sure that you guys understand who the best dancers are in
Yeah.
the room. So
Yeah.
they got to get competitive. Even with each other. Even with each
Yeah.
other, they do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, my first workshop was in November of 2017. Then
Mm-hmm.
December, then the very next month, I was hooked, Claudia. It was like anytime they had one, I wanted to
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
that one was in Baltimore,
Yeah.
Maryland. So
Okay. So
I
you
had to
had
get
to
a flight
fly.
and get the ticket. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And that one was good. And usually I would fly up like the morning of the workshop and then fly back the very next morning. I just was there for the
Yes.
day, and then I would leave.
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Yes,
Just in
yes.
time
And
for the
because it was
workshop.
on a weekend, it was like a weekend, or maybe sometimes it was during the week. I can't remember. But then anyway, December. But the third one was also in Baltimore. And it was a big crowd. It was probably about 500 people there. It's a lot. It was a big crowd. But there was a little girl standing next to me at one point during the workshop, and there was a stage in this room. So they were up on stage for part of it. And uh, she was trying to get Larry's attention. And she was just a little bitty thing. He couldn't hear her over the crowd. He couldn't see her. So I was like, hello, I got his attention. I have this on video too, because that's another thing. Somebody is always, always, always videoing them. So I have a
Right.
lot of
Yes.
these sweet, sweet moments with them. Um, because somebody sent it to me. They recognized me or something.
Yeah, that's
Somebody told
awesome.
them,
Yeah.
or they told me. So he comes over to the stage, and and he leans down. He grabs my hands, both of my hands, and he leans down because he's up on the stage. I'm on the floor, and I basically tell him, "This young lady just wants a picture with you," or something like that. And he says, "Oh, okay. Well, basically, give me a minute, and I'll be back over here." He said, "I told her in a minute, not no. I didn't say no. I said, just give me a minute." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he kissed my hand. It's so French. You know how they are. They're so French. And he kissed my hand. And the ladies behind me, and a couple of guys too, said, "Oh my God, girl, I wish that was me." And blah, blah, blah. It was so
Some
cute. It
guys
was
too.
so cute. I mean, let's be real. These guys are stunning. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my first little thing. And then I had to leave early. So I also had a meet and greet for that, but I had to leave and get to the airport because that was one of those where I flew in the night before. So I had to leave that night, like the red eye. I was taking the last flight out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to hurry and get to the airport. And the organizer of that particular workshop let me go back before everybody else because I had to leave. And at some point, when I said something like I had to leave, and I'm so glad that because she got their permission to let me come back there. And I was thanking them for allowing me to go ahead and do it. And at the same
Mm.
time, I do not have this on camera because it happened so fast. One kissed me here and one kissed me there, and I was like, "Oh my God." But I have the picture. Larry had already moved away from me. He kissed me and moved away, but Lowe's is still, his lips are still on my head. But yeah, it was little sweet moments like that. And when I hear people say, I had a horrible illness, or I had a bad accident, or
Mm-hmm.
I lost someone, and you watching your videos help me, just listening to them
Yeah.
pour their hearts out to them, and they just say, "Oh, thank you," and give them a hug. And I mean, nobody, the way their fans are treated by them is
Mm.
next level. It is
Mm.
next level. They're so
That's beautiful.
appreciative of their,
Yeah.
yes, they
Yeah.
eat it up. And I look at that, and like little kids, who look up to them, and they'll tell them what a great job they did. They will never forget that. They will never
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
that.
And just that warmth too, it really makes you feel like welcomed and appreciated. And yeah,
Yes. And it's genuine. It's
it's
not
genuine.
fake. They don't
Yeah.
know how to be fake. I don't think they
Mm.
know how to be fake. That
Yeah.
they're good actors. I mean, we've seen them in videos, and we've seen them
Yeah.
in movies, so that we know they're good actors. But I can
Yeah.
also tell when somebody is being genuine. I mean, at this big age that I am, it's hard to, pull the wool over my eyes. So I
Yeah.
can tell. I can tell when they're tired. I can tell when
Mm.
they might be going through something because of the
Uh-huh.
music that they choose,
The
the way they
choreography
talk
would be different.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So yeah, I think over the years, like I said, I've been following them since 2017. So over the years, I think I've come to understand their personalities, and how they're very similar but
Mm.
very different at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. But there is I've never seen a love like that between
Mm.
siblings. I've never
Mm-hmm.
seen a connection like that, and I think that's what draws us to them, is
Oh,
that
completely.
that is magical. It is
Yeah.
it is
And
just so beautiful.
what insights about their personality did you get out of seeing
Uh,
attending many
well,
workshops?
I think, okay. I'll say, Larry being the more hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's sex. They're both very sexy, but Larry's sexy in a more macho, he's very masculine,
Mm-hmm.
very, very flirty, and very affectionate. He's
Mm-hmm.
the hugger. He's
Mm-hmm.
very, if he likes you, you know it. If he doesn't like you, you
You
know
know
it.
it.
Uh, but Lowe is, to me, more in touch with his feminine side. He's
Okay.
softer. I think the more intellectual of the
Yeah.
two.
Yes.
He's like a deeper thinker, and And he's very, 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 they both are protective of each other,
Mm-hmm.
of their feelings, of their bodies. You know, like they look at
Mm-hmm.
each other sometimes. I know Larry will look at Lo sometimes, like, you know, your knee is bothering you, or you know, you probably should be taking it a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can see when one of them is maybe a little bit more tired, or they might have come into this feeling a certain way, how the other one tries to make up for it. They try to say,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't have to work as hard. Let me take a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
that load off for you. And then
Yeah.
that twin connection is made, you know, is
It's
it's like
very
nobody
special.
else is in the room. Yes, it's like
Yeah.
we all disappear, like we all fade into the
Yeah.
background, and it's just the two of them. And
It's like the
so if you're able to be in that room
mm-hmm.
when that happens,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't care how much the tickets are. You're going to want to be
Yeah.
back. You're going to
Yeah.
want to get some more of that. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It's like an
Yeah.
addiction. You know, it's
That's
like
what people
you want to get
say.
your next fix.
You're the first person I talked to, I think, who you told me you've been to the taping of Revolution of the show in Canada. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm
Ah,
curious.
so good. So good. Okay. Um, so I actually have a sweet friend that I met in Montreal at a workshop. And I don't know if you know Sandy. She is a photographer and she has a
Yeah,
dance
I did
studio.
interview her. Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. So this was her, she put this one on, and it was in Montreal, which I probably never would have gone to Montreal, Canada, if it wasn't
right.
for the twins. That's another thing about them. They've I've met people and had experiences because of my love for them that are unforgettable. And one of them
Mm,
is my sweet friend Serena. And I met her. She was there with her daughter. She lived in Texas at that time. And she's shorter than I am. I'm petite. I'm only like 5'5", but she's maybe like 5'3". She's a little bitty thing.
yeah,
So
like me.
she was standing in a chair so she could see in the cipher. And I asked her if she wouldn't mind if I stood in front of her. And she says, "Oh no, come on," you know, because she's way up there. So anyway, so I had a front row seat to see them. But we started traveling together. I met her and we just hit it off, and we started
Beautiful.
most of these workshops that I went to, even when I went to Paris to Just to Debut, and you know, back to Montreal and to Revolution. She went. I think I went to 4 or 5
Mm-hmm.
tapings. And they were
Okay.
very, very strict. They were very strict about cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would kind of hold it up, and you know, but if I saw security coming by or something, I would just put my phone down. I got busted a couple of times, uh, but um, but it was so great because I enjoyed it every single time, even
Mm-hmm.
though I could not understand a
Understand.
word they were saying. I didn't know any French. The whole show is in French. The
I'm
the
sure it's in
the the
French.
host, yes, the host, everything the judges were saying, you know, when they were talking to the dancers. I'm just like, but you know, a couple of times that I went though, there was somebody who spoke French sitting next to me, and they would kind of translate for
A
me.
little
But
bit, yeah.
yes, but I met their family there a couple of times. Their brothers, a couple of their brothers came, so I met
Really.
them. Uh, I have not met their mother. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been at an event where she was. I wasn't fortunate enough, but girlfriends I've met, and you know, their guy friends and other dancers that they like. But that was interesting because we would go in the studio. They would have seats for us, and you know, they would call us the Americans. They would just say, "The American ladies, like y'all come this way." It was like they didn't know our
That's
names, but we
funny.
knew they American ladies. So yeah, we had great seats, and that show was wonderful. It's so well done. It was a great
Mm,
production. And I could tell they really enjoyed it. I was really sad
yeah.
when they stopped doing it. I know they really enjoyed it. And during the commercial breaks, a lot of time they come off the stage and come say hi, or
By that point, they were recognizing you because you had already been to a few.
yes. Yes, they
So,
were, because that's another thing. Whether they know your name or not is one thing, but they won't forget your face. And again, they appreciate, especially if you come from the States all the way up there to see them. I mean, of course, they're going to say hi and give you a hug, maybe take a picture with you or something like that. So yeah, we had all of those opportunities. I remember one time this lady that I was just telling you about, she actually broke her ankle the day before we were
oh,
supposed to go up there, and she still went. The doctor said, you need to stay here, you need to have surgery. She says, oh, I'm going to see the twins. So I had to push her around in a wheelchair that that entire trip. She was on
wow.
crutches and in a wheelchair. It was crazy, but we did get great seats because she got to sit up front because she was in
Right.
a
Yeah.
wheelchair, so
Yeah.
that was good.
What's the
and
upside?
and I have a
Um,
great, yeah, I have a great picture of her when Lo came over and talked to her, and he was like, I know
mhm.
how you feel, because remember he had messed up his ankle
Mhm.
on World
Mhm.
of Dance. So
Yeah.
he said you'll be fine. He said, do what the doctors say and you'll be fine. So and then he made some joke about like the pain medicine or something, like you must feel good, that must make you feel good. And she was like, oh yeah. So it was so cute. They were adorable, really, really
Yeah.
cute. And I have a great, one of my favorite pictures was that day Larry came off the stage and came right over and talked to Serena because she was in the wheelchair, and he asked her what happened. She told him she slipped in the bathroom, and he said, you slipped on a banana, like on a banana. It was so cute how he said banana. He said
Yeah.
banana. It was so cute. But yeah, and I have this great picture. He's a selfie. Like when you smile, you have a lot of pretty teeth, and people tell me that all the time too. I've never seen. I think you could see every one of Larry's teeth. He was smiling
I love
so
that.
big. It was
Yeah.
it was
That's
so
so cool.
great.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about my favorite time when I went to Revolution. All
Please.
the times I had gone to workshops, I had never seen them do a choreographed dance together. They always split up, and
Yes.
one
Yes.
does
Yeah.
a dance. So the reason I fell in love with them was seeing them dance together on World of Dance.
Dance.
But at
Yeah.
the workshops, they never do that, right?
Mhm.
So when I went up there for, I can't remember, I think it was the end of season 2, I think, of Revolution. Anyway, they danced a choreographed dance together. I'm sure you've
Mhm.
seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it.
And I my friend was sobbing at the end of it. It was so
They're
beautiful,
always
and we
so
got a chance to
emotional.
see them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so good, because I don't care how many workshops you go to, you're not going to see them do a choreographed dance
Yeah.
together, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we got a chance to see that, and after it was over with, Larry said, did you like it? And I said, are you kidding me? I said, it was perfect. So to have a chance to see it, and then to have a chance to have a conversation with one of them and tell them and have them say, did you like it? I was like, are you kidding me right now? That was the most beautiful thing. I said, it was perfect. It was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And he blushed a little bit. It was so cute. But yeah, that was my favorite, was to see them do a choreographed
Mm.
dance together live up there on
Live.
stage.
Oh
and
wow,
and they
that is
only did it
special.
once. They only
Right.
did it once because it was perfect. Nobody, most of the time, they'll give people a chance to redo something, or maybe the camera work was off or something. Not them. It was
Wow.
perfect the first time. Yeah, my poor
That's so
friend, she was
cool.
a mess. She was a mess. Her face was
Yeah.
just like, she was just like, it was a lot. It was a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we saw a
Yeah.
lot of
That.
their fans there. We met a lot of
Yeah.
their fans there. Yeah, people that we only knew from Instagram, we got to
Yeah.
see them, or on videos. We had seen them before in some of the videos. I was like, I remember you from some of the
Yeah.
videos that I saw on YouTube. So we got a chance to meet those people. It was so cool.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment down below and tune in next time for part 2 with more anecdotes and fun moments with the twins. See you all next time.